I just neck it? Hello, welcome back to my channel. I feel like I have a little bit of stage fright. It's been a while since I've just filmed with the intention of like no intention basically. The winter time as in Christmas and summertime as in like June onwards tends to be my kind of like drive to film a lot more, particularly vlogs, just because there's a little bit more going on maybe. Since the end of last year, I've just felt vlogging in general is super egotistical. I feel like I need to start talking properly if I'm gonna start talking on camera more. I'm finding it really hard to like get a good balance of like filming stuff that isn't very egotistical and like self-centered. Even like stuff that I write down, like posts and things, like even my Instagram stuff that I post on my feed, it's like I just try and have some kind of meaning behind them rather than it just being about me. That's just my own kind of journey in life right now, I suppose. I mean, vlogs are always going to just be documenting whatever is of interest to me at the time, whatever I'm doing. A big part of my life right now has just been focusing on like my ego and removing that. I recently made a video about ego death as well, so that explains that a lot. At the end of the day, this is just a diary and it's just my life right now. When it comes to the context of vlogging, it makes it very difficult because that is very like identity focused. I just thought, because I was doing quite a number of cute things last week and it got me thinking like, oh, these are the kind of things I used to vlog quite a lot. I went to a cute little local fair, which was really nice. I love like car boots or anything like that, markets and things. Me and a bunch of Adam's cousins and siblings and stuff, we went swimming and we played rounders and we played frisbee, and yesterday was Father's Day and we went out for dinner for that. There's just been a cute little like summer vibes. I'm like, kind of miss bringing my camera out for events like these. Oh, and also I went to London recently, which is something I definitely would have usually filmed, to see my sister and watch Mrs. Doubtfire the musical. And I really regret not filming that little trip actually, because I didn't think I would like Mrs. Doubtfire as much as I did. I really rate the movie. Me and my sister grew up watching that like countless times. We know all of the words, and because of that she bought me Mrs. Doubtfire tickets for Christmas to see the musical. You know what it's like when something gets transitioned into a musical, it's like, how are they gonna make that happen? Like there's no music in the original, so like they obviously made new songs, and I loved it. It was so good. If there's ever an opportunity out there for some reason, I don't know how long it's touring for to be fair, for you to go see it, I would highly recommend. I even bought an apron. I bought an apron merchandise. I was like, even if I don't like the musical, because I hadn't been in to see it yet, like this was on the way in, I saw the apron and I was like, I thought if I don't like the musical, it doesn't matter because I love the film. So like the apron can just be a nod towards the film if I really didn't like the musical. Oh, I loved it. I did a whole little like write-up review about the experience on my Instagram. If you're interested, my Instagram is Think and Poop, the same way it's spelled here. I'm just gonna get on with work. I've kind of got ready like for the evening now, like after I woke up, and then I'm gonna work, and then as soon as we need to go out, I'm basically ready because me and Adam are gonna have a little bit of a date night tonight. Go to a gig, but it's one of Adam's favourite bands, the Unknown Orchestra. But I like a lot of Adam's music. His vibe's very like funky, chill, like indie kind of. I don't really know how to explain his kind of music, to be fair. We've noticed that like if someone wants to pick someone to choose the music when we're hanging out with a group of people tend to ask Adam because his music taste is very like easy listening and chill. I don't know. Anyway, let's show you the apron. Here it is, hanging up. It doesn't really have a proper home. I just kind of put it there for a while to sort of remind me of how cool the trip was. It's got some of the quotes of the song. Mrs. Doubtfire is trying to obviously do her first meal and impress the kids. She's using Alexa to like teach herself how to make it, and at first I kind of cringed, you know, when they try and make like things more modern, because obviously Mrs. Doubtfire was based in the 90s and that wouldn't have been a thing, but they did it really well. Like they did it so like chefs were jumping out of the kitchen and like teaching her, and like Nigella stands on the freaking island at one point and starts like dancing and singing. I really enjoyed it. If you don't know, I've been blonde for like a really long time now. Not really interested in colour as much as I used to be. For now, anyway, who knows when that will change. I just have really enjoyed being blonde, and literally everyone says I suit it so much more. So not that I tend to usually do things that other people tell me to or like suggest me to, but the amount of people that said it, I'm kind of like, well, you've got to kind of take on board someone's point of view from time to time, especially when it's like hundreds of people saying it. Not hundreds, but people in real life. So Adam helped me bleach my roots, and he does a really good job. Rocking pure bleach, like I'm not even putting a toner over it. However, it has been a bit orange recently, because on the colour wheel, the opposite of orange is purple. So I got this, and it's Purple Haze, and I just mixed it with my shampoo and conditioner, and I know like the roots are still a bit orange, but it doesn't really catch on the roots that you've just done because I just bleached those. Washing this off will kind of get rid of some of those yellow tones, and I quite like the purple vibes. I was really excited because I found these on offer. I mean, literally on offer twice. That's why there's two labels. But it's one of my favourite, one of the only things I actually like vegetarian-wise in my sandwich. It's a ham replacement by Bites Deli Slices with lettuce, sprinkle of salt, and mayo. It makes the best sandwich. I think I've mentioned this somewhere in a vlog or somewhere on this channel before, but I am currently a video editor for another lady who does YouTube. Her content's very different to mine. It's comedy based, it's hilarious, so it's such a joy to edit for somebody who just is naturally so funny, and the style that I edit in is very meme based, and like I've got to try and think of references and stuff to include, and like fun ways to show the subtitles of things that's being said, and I love it. It's part-time work. It's also very kind of, it's more stable than a lot of the other stuff that I do. Even with my tarot reading stuff, that's more stable, but you never know like how each month is gonna look, so this is a massive part of like what I do in my day-to-day week. Obviously with my own videos, it's not massively stable income, and yeah, I love it. So I've been focusing a lot on that today mostly. I've been sitting here for about, I don't know how long, it's been a few hours since I last spoke to you basically. It typically takes like, I haven't really been working on this like for a full day today, so it typically takes like 2.5 days maybe to finish the whole thing, but she gives me so much free reign, and her channel is doing really well. It's a very successful channel, so it's a massive privilege, and the fact that she lets me kind of choose where I take the majority of the edits is amazing. I know that video editing is like my thing, it's what I'm here to do, to the point where it's stopped me from making a lot of regular content on this channel, because I'm actually in the middle of editing a documentary, which I'm really proud of, and it's taken so long to get to where it is now, but it's meant I've stopped filming a lot and making other stuff on this channel because I just want that freaking thing finished. But I just felt as though I wasn't really showing what I can do as much as like I believe I should, to show people as well for my portfolio, because I'm still looking for editing work. If anyone watching this happens to know someone who's looking for an editor, feel free to let me know or let them know about me. But I wanted more stuff that I've made for myself, like to show off. So that's partly why that documentary is coming too. I'm just happy about it. I don't want to give any spoilers about what it is, but it's a documentation of an experiment I was doing in a place in the UK. I think we're going to head out pretty soon so we have enough time to eat and things. Though I will mention, I said we're going to see the Unknown Orchestra. It's not called the Unknown Orchestra. It's just Unknown Mortal Orchestra. The gig actually is being held at the Boiler Shop, which we've been to before for a gig. Only recently I went to go see Sleeping with Sirens for the 5th time maybe. I've seen them a few times. I still love them. I've loved them for years. Let me know if you still listen to Sleeping with Sirens and if you still love them too, because it was kind of sad seeing like how small, as much as I love a small venue, it feels more intimate, but it's sad at the same time because like I think they deserve more. Do you know what I mean? Speaking of which, I didn't buy tickets for Melanie Martinez's new Portals gig announcement in this country because the Portals album's done so well, which I'm glad she's living her best life and able to like raise the funds needed to make her second movie. But I'm also gutted because the tickets were double the price that they were like in all the other gigs that I've seen of her, because I've almost been to, I think I've been to every other single tour she's done in this country ever. This is the first time I haven't been to one. I'm not going to go to one because they were so expensive and the seats were terrible. They're like really far away. It's in an arena and I hate arena gigs. Kind of gutted, but at the same time she is performing in her like
mask and stuff, and I kind of feel like if I'm miles away and she's not even like really showing her face, I would feel so separated from her that I don't really see the point massively. I'd much rather watch the movie in the cinema or something like that. I know this is kind of bad, but I don't know if anyone else has noticed this. So many people have put the full freaking gig up online. I don't know any other artist that has had fans do that. She streamed her own gig in Brazil, I think it was, or something, or Spain, I don't know. So I've watched so many of those videos at this point, I kind of feel like I've already seen it. Is it an Adam and Ellie vlog without a Spoons dinner? Yes, we still go to Spoons. Hello, Adam.
Hello.
Yes, he still orders the fish and chips. Actually, no, you usually order, in the vlogs is usually burger.
Hamburger.
I'm trying pasta, which is not unusual for me, and whiskey on the rocks. Oh, jeez. I chopped my straw in half so that it felt more like bougie. much, man. Okay, bloody Nora. There we go. Adam, how did you find it?
It was amazing.
Glad
I knew it was going to be good anyway, but yeah, I thought it was really special. It was very good.
Would you say they're in your top like 5 bands?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think they have been for years, to be fair. But very good live, cemented the place in the top 5.
That's a point, because they're quite smallish. We didn't really know how they were going to sound in live. They could have been awful, to be honest. I've seen some really good artists, but they can't, like really big artists, but they can't actually sing live. But he was good. He's got a very unique voice. If you want to ever listen to any of their songs, Adam would recommend.
I started out with Honeybee. I love That Life. That's more of like a kind of general poppy sounding song, which probably is easier to get into. Anything from the new album is really good. Multi-Love.
Is that about polyamory?
Apparently. I think he had 2 girlfriends at one point, and I think it was about a polyamorous relationship.
I bet that's awkward to sing now.
It's a piece of history in his life, isn't it?
I always wonder that, like, I know Melanie talks about how she was getting sick of Crybaby singing it because she didn't resonate with the music anymore, and like who she was when she made it. I don't want to have to keep like relive. It's quite toxic to relive your like history. But anyway, yeah, he's got a very unique voice, so you'll notice that if you want to listen to any of those songs.
It's quite soft and raspy, and it goes with the vibe of the music in a sense.
Yeah, it's very comforting. Everyone else was like, woo! And I was like, we happened to make it like right at the front. That was kind of an accident. We got there sort of early. Well, we got there quite early. Yeah, we managed to wiggle our way right up to the front, so that was good.
They're underrated, and you should check them out.
Honeybee, honeybee.
It being new moon, and we're also in a Cancer new moon currently. I'm sun and moon Cancer, so I thought it'd be a good place to sort of start doing these a bit more like regularly, because I don't always work alongside the moon, but I'm trying to like actually make it a little bit of a routine. Got some rose quartz, I've got selenite, amethyst, and this incense that I'm burning is also a rose incense. Everything that kind of felt very like Cancer vibes, I just basically placed on the table. That is a pink jasper. And I've got some lavender. It's a rollable a pillow spray, which also happens to be lavender, but very fitting for a Cancer new moon. Speaking of, I also found a new moon in Cancer playlist that someone had made on Spotify, which is so cute. New moon is when there's basically no moon in the sky, and then it moves to waxing moon, and then full moon, and then the moon starts to disappear again. So in the phase between new and full, most of you probably know this if you're into this stuff anyway, but that is about like bringing something in, working towards a goal, and you can kind of work alongside the moon phase being from nothing to something alongside nature. That's what this whole book's about. It's just trying to do things alongside the seasons or moon phases. So because it's in Cancer right now, I'm going to focus my manifestation around intuition. Basically trust it a lot more and work with it a lot more. I want to look at the new moon and how that's about air, spring, and plants such as lavender, connecting them to the idea of intuition, dreams, rose, amethyst. So it's a very soft and gentle sign. And that's partly also why I've brought out and decided to use incense, particularly rose, because that's associated more to Cancer and supporting the element of air. I made little intention eggs a little while back with a friend. We painted cracked eggs colours that we were trying to manifest in. This was a love egg, and I made a little devil to represent like the more cheeky side of myself and just being more playful and fun. For stuff like this to actually sit and smell the herbs themselves, to kind of help you tune into them and think about certain things and reflect on stuff. A bit like when they say you should buy a different perfume for when you go on holiday somewhere to help you remember the memories. It's a very good like memory trigger, because I've also made note of things I've used, and therefore like I can look back on everything and say like, oh, that was really powerful, I want to do that again, or maybe not, that didn't work for me. When it comes to the full moon, you sort of like look back at the notes that you've made. What have you acted towards? What's not helped you? Like, what do you need to release in order to keep the manifestation coming? And then when it's waning moon, what do you need to become less attached to? That's what releasing really means. A lot of people think it
means people, but it's not necessarily always people. It's in yourself. It's like, what do I need to release? Like the feeling of needing. It's like shadow work usually. I never used to truly understand why the full moon was associated to release. Obviously, for it to be a full moon, the moon needs to be in direct opposite placements in the sky, so they're not in the same place, they're not coming with the same energy, furthest away as possible from where the sun is. And because of that placement, it means that it's not shining onto the moon. She calls it the white dot in the Black Sea because the full moon is like a little dose of the opposite energy of the current season, which is like when people say we're in Gemini season or on Cancer season. That's because everyone's birthdays are currently in that point in time. Because the moon being like as far away as possible from that, it's saying like how that's lighting up a little light inside the opposite energy of where you're at this current point in time. And that's what shadow work is. It's like forcing yourself to look in the areas you don't usually like look so far away from yourself and what you are. That's why shadow work is basically like trigger work. I like to call it trigger work because whenever you get triggered by something, or like an opposite opinion like pisses you off, or someone pisses you off, or does something that you don't agree with, or you feel so like annoyed about, that's like the opposite of you. Something about what they're doing is so opposite of who you are and what you are. So looking into that and asking yourself, why do I feel this way? Why am I passionate about that? Where does this come from? And that's kind of like what the full moon's doing. It's lighting up in an area that is so far from where you're currently at. What do you need to release and sort of forget and see from a different side perhaps? And then I also have started tracking my moods, my energy and period, my menstrual cycle, my moon phase alongside what phase the moon's in currently. This book recommends to do it for 2 months and then to look back, especially look back during full moon, because full moon's about reflecting, to see if you notice any patterns to your energy levels and moods, and you can work with them rather than trying to push through them. You can kind of predict them before they come, so you can operate differently and like schedule your working days a bit differently, knowing that you're going to have more energy that day, or you're going to feel a certain way this day, like to not book dates or like see people in this period because you're usually like this then.
A friend of mine was a guest at the White House for a weekend. There's a man before he shaves him, and that is precisely what McKinley did back in 1896. The speech had its fine points, but it would have raised a tornado.
Absolutely parched. About this with Adam the other day. I'm intrigued to know how much water other people drink in a day, because I feel like I can really feel it if I don't have at least 4 pints. That's quite low for me in the day. A good day would be like good old 7-8 pints. I don't know how normal that is. Like when I speak to other people, that sounds excessive, but I also have bladder issues. I can't go without water for a while, otherwise I get like pain in my bladder, so don't know what that's all about. I also just like feel it in my throat and my skin and my face if I don't drink water too. I've been busy finishing the edit that I was speaking about. It's all done, that's been sent. I haven't got any like feedback about it being wrong anywhere or they want to change anything, so that's good. The other day I received a commission for a bunch of shorts that a VTuber, virtual YouTuber, very odd concept. I've worked with her before. She was like, I really want to commission you again, I loved what you did. And that made my day. I was like, oh my gosh, like you have no idea. If you're someone who buys art from someone or like purchases a service of some sort from someone, when we receive that email, that notification, prompt to send something in the post, whatever it is, it makes us do an actual happy dance, and you are needed and wanted and stuff, but it also just like, it's our livelihood at the end of the day. God, these are my new plates. The rim is kind of like curved. I love a plate with a curved rim. This is my favourite time of the day, so like why would I not to accommodate me in the best time of the day? It makes sense, right? It's basically, God, why is there so much chaos today? It's basically a message from someone saying like, hey, do you want to do the thing that you really love doing? Like the money? Yes. I would. I've been blending my own herbal teas at the moment and experimenting with different tastes. It's grim the next day, but I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm kind of shaky because I need food, and then I can get some work done. Hello, so just to check in, have not got anywhere near as much done that I wanted to get done today, but that's just sometimes the nature of things, and I'm trying to get a little bit better with just like trusting that is enough and what I've done is okay, because I have such a bad habit of like determining my worth depending on how many hours I put into something and what I've got done. I try and combat that by doing to-do lists and writing down things that are like priorities today, and that does really help with my self-esteem and how good I feel by the end of the day. It makes me sleep better as well, and loads of benefits to that. But then I also feel like there needs to be a balance in that I am not a to-do list. I am a human being and I have my energy levels and emotions which differ day to day, and that's partly why I'm logging my moods and energies and stuff, so that I can work with them rather than like pushing through them when sometimes I really just don't want to. But I've got a fair bit done. I'm actually going to be uploading on my channel like myself tonight I think, which I haven't done for a long time, but I'm very proud of this video. It's about inner child work, inner child magic, something I'm very passionate about and I've been working a lot on this year. So also something I thought was worth mentioning, I'm not massive on crystals and I don't have a lot of crystals, but for like a good few weeks now, maybe even months, I've been looking at a lot of like Feng Shui decor organization and like looking at the different like north, west, east, south directions and how they can like influence your mindset and your thought patterns and your work life and stuff, particularly if you work from home. And there's a corner in my living room that I kind of want to dedicate in particular to something. Citrine was something I felt like symbolized what I kind of wanted that corner to be mostly about. I think because there's been such a boom in crystals and collecting them, and I've even heard a lot on how they predict quite soon we're going to actually have lack in resources for them. Is that the term? Gather crystals, find crystals, mine for crystals as much as they could, because of like how high the demand's been, particularly in the last 5 years. So I felt like it felt more in alignment with the idea of crystals. Oh my gosh, there's a dog being attacked. And the kind of consciousness and intention that comes with working with them, in that we shouldn't like be having so much stuff, like including crystals and also like anything associated to the workings with them. It's supposed to be honoring Earth, being responsible for what we do on the planet, and it feels very contradictory to like have loads of stuff and want to buy more and more stuff, and it's very materialistic. For me, naturally, that feels like we should be working with secondhand tools more, because it is a very community-based hobby, helping each other work with whatever they need to work with by like sharing those kind of tools, not only sharing education but like equipment and what we're actually using. So I've actually also been digging a little bit today for any form of shops, whether it's locally or like online, that kind of have that same desire, because I feel like that's something where not only we should be doing, but we probably will need to do something which I feel like maybe more people need to think about and start creating spaces even in their own covens and like community spaces. Like people do that with like clothes now. I've known a few people to like gather their friends together and like everyone brings a bin bag of like old clothes that they don't like anymore, and then they just like throw it in the center of the room and everyone can go through each other's stuff. Quite clearly nothing has really changed in terms of my dinners being weird as hell. 2 eggs, fish, and a shit ton of veg. This will keep me going until at least tomorrow lunchtime. Turret things everywhere. I'm running a little bit late, so I don't really have much time to talk, but I'm currently on the way to see my friends in town. In town meaning in Newcastle. It's weird. I'm still getting used to the fact that people around here call like the city centre town and their local town, I don't know what they call their local town, but I'm a little bit late because the clock in my living room said it was 10:30 for ages. And I was like, there's no way I'm ready on time. This is not an Ellie thing. Turns out my suspicions were correct and the clock stopped. So I was going by the wrong time all morning. It's an absolutely scorcher of a day. So I hate running for a train when I'm hot anyway. I think we're just gonna hang out on a bar. My dress keeps going up as well because I'm walking fast. So anyone else's dress do that when they walk fast, especially if you're wearing a bag. We're just going to this bar on the riverside, by the River Brew, I think. I've been there before. It's nice. It's gonna be hot. It's a very pretty view though when you're there. Pretty view for your beer. Look how nice the walk to the bar is. Literally on the river. I mean, that would make sense, hence why it's called By the River, but it's like a little mini Australia in Newcastle. Absolutely heaving, but we've now separated. That sounds weird. Everyone's gone home, so I decided to go to do some charity shopping. Especially if I'm in city centres, I like having a little mooch around at the knickknacks and things. Oh, that's actually really cool. You just never know what you're gonna find. I'm sorry, but this is just plain old genius. Look at that. Me and Adam definitely need this in our life. Although I am thinking I should be careful because I have had a few cocktails. Should I really be making choices around purchasing after some cocktails? Gonna lie to you, I'm absolutely scorching. I'm so hot, it's boiling. So I mean, I would say that I made the most of the sunshine, but I just feel like the UK heatwave at the moment is just too much for me, so I'm going home. Good morning. Whoa, hope you're well. I'm saying that as if my video is starting. It's not, it's continuing, though it is ending. In today's submission, shall we call it. I don't want to make these videos too long, otherwise I won't carry them on. And I really enjoyed this, so if you like seeing a little window into my life, you enjoyed this video, then do let me know in the comments, because with any content creator, you've got to let them know what you enjoy and what you don't, because we are not mind readers. Let me know. But anyway, today we are actually going to Adam's grandma's house, Betty. She's literally like my best friend. She's my own grandma, friend, mum, everything intertwined, and it's her birthday, so we're going to be celebrating her today, so that makes me so happy. And we're having a roast dinner in celebration for it. She is making it, and there's about 12 of us going, so it's usually, when we go over for a roast, it's usually like 5-6 of us, so it's going to be a hectic one, but I'm very excited about it. I've got ready. Adam's kind of catching up, getting ready, because we had his cousin over last night and they had a bit to drink. They were watching the Glastonbury festival on the TV. I was joining them, but like, oh, I can see inside my neighbour's house. I'm so nosy. Because I wanted to feel good today, I was like, I'm not gonna have much to drink, so I joined them. But like, also speaking of, Adam's cousin is my first and only brother. I've never had a brother before. I don't class Adam's family as like friends or family. Well, they're both to me. It's weird. Like, does that sound weird if I'm saying like, oh, Adam's cousin's girlfriend came over last night, who I'm also really close with, or Adam's brother's girlfriend or fiance or whatever, because they're more like friends to me. Anyway, we're all dead close, so it's lovely, and brotherly kind of energy, because I've never ever had that before. Obviously I've grown up with just sisters. Actually, on my keychain, we all went out. Adam didn't come, but all of Adam's siblings and me and his cousins all went out for a night out a little while back. We took a little nightclub photo together, me, Adam's cousin, and Adam's cousin's boyfriend, and I now put them on my keys, and I call them my bodyguards. They protect me. No one's ever going to break in now. No one's ever going to mess with me on my keys. The postman came today and delivered me some organic raw apple cider vinegar. I've been reading a lot of things about apple cider vinegar and what it is good for, but one of the main reasons that actually pushed me to get it was the fact that I heard that it delays your period. I actually love my period. I've never been on the pill as well, so I never wanted to F with it at all. Like, I just want to be as natural as possible, and I always have. The idea of taking something and stopping, like, that feminine, like, natural part of myself just doesn't sit right with me. And I know that comes from a place of privilege as well, because I've never had period pains. My pains are like crampy and annoying for a couple of hours, or maybe 2 days, sometimes at a push. But like, I can deal with that. I'm like, it's a sensation, it's not a pain. And I'm not, you know, I'm not crunched over the floor like crying for my life. I have a heavy period, don't get me wrong. I'm just like, yes, you let that out. I am, though, going away soon. Just for a couple of days, and we're actually going to, speaking of Adam's cousins and family and that, we're all going away, all of us, like there's a big group of us, all the kids, I say kids, but like Adam's 33, so like from 33 downwards. We're all going away to the lakes, partly for my birthday, which actually makes me want to cry, and one of the guys in the keychain you just saw, Adam's cousin's boyfriend. We're both little cancer babies. Oh, that makes me happy. But I wanted to go to the lakes for so long, you have no idea. It was one of the reasons I moved here. Like, I wanted to go to the lakes, and I still haven't been. It's been 4 freaking years because of the pandemic and stuff. But we're finally going, and I am there to swim. I am there to hike. I'm also there to start my period, and that annoys me a little bit, not gonna lie, because I'm thinking the last thing you want to do when you're on your period is walk and swim. So I'm gonna try and delay her for a couple of days, and apparently there's a lot of things like lemons, lime, gelatin, ibuprofen that stop it, like, as naturally as possible. I mean, ibuprofen's not too natural, but it's just like to gently delay her just by a couple of days, because we're only going away for a couple of days. So I'm gonna try it. I also got some lemon juice, like pure lemons. I thought I would join you in on the experience. Thrilling content, I know. See how this goes. God, stinks. And some lemon. I had loads of this last night. I was actually pouring some of this in my cider. I'm assuming this will taste nicer if I put some ice in, so none of it says just drink it, it's delicious. It's like, cook with it. Oh, you can make smoothies out of it. Add 2 tablespoons to a glass of your regular smoothie. I love experimenting with things though. I need to desperately wash up as well. It's getting crazy. I'm not even showing. Actually, I am going to show you. This is real life. Look at that washing up. Should I just neck it? I just want it in my system, don't I? I think that's one of the most revolting things I've ever eaten. Oh. Hallelujah. Oh, that should be loads better now. It actually looks delicious somehow. That's drinkable now. Anyway, I'm gonna need to continue getting ready and wash the hell up.
I can't believe this is the last thing I'm gonna see before I'm short about.
No, I went with the school.
One's, I would say one.